All right. And I'm going to share my screen also so that you can see the paper. Uh, so you need to tell me if you can see the screen or not.
Excuse me, ma'am. That paper we will do on the notebook.
Bete, we will discuss the objective part together, and
Yes,
the
ma'am.
subjective part, I will tell you that which part you can start solving because there are questions, short questions, so I will tell you. So, Bete, can you see the screen? Is there anyone who cannot see the screen? So,
Ma'am, I
like
can see the
everyone,
screen.
all right, that's great. What about Afrasyab? Can you see the screen, Bete?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, this is the past paper we will be solving together. Basically, it's last year's paper, December 2023. And basically, we are having two papers of last year's mid. So, this is the first paper we are going to solve. And we are having another paper on the same, you can say, syllabus. So, let's move on to objective parts. Today, if there anyone who cannot see the screen, you need to tell me.
Excuse me, ma'am.
जी बेटे
Ma'am, I have this worksheet in printed form. So can I solve
जी
it over there?
जी बेटा you can.
Okay,
That's what
ma'am.
I was saying. If anybody is having this paper in printed form, so please use that printout. Solve it on the printout. Take notes also. Write down the reasons of every answer also. Right? So this is section A. So I always told you in the class also that the paper is having two sections, section A and section B. Section A is basically having all the objective type questions or short questions or the questions where the knowledge is required, knowledge, application, or memorization. So it's comparatively an easy part. Section B is basically um, required more analytical skills also, that you need to understand the question and then you need to apply different mathematical concepts to solve it. So let's start with section A. Moving on to first question, which of the following is an example of irrational number? So who can answer? Which one of these four is irrational number? Hussein, can you answer me? Hussein, Heather. Which of the following is an irrational number?
Ma'am, first part A.
Very right. Excellent. This is irrational. So, but what is the reason, Hussein? Can you tell others?
क्योंकि मैम और सब में स्क्वायर हो जाते हैं, जैसे 9 का स्क्वायर 3 हो जाएगा, 25 का 5 और 36 का 6.
Right. Very good. So, rest of all the options are having a whole number in the answer. So, but square root of 6 is not giving you a whole number. So, the roots we have discussed yesterday also, the roots which are not perfect square, so they are all irrational numbers. So, we have discussed that out of 100 numbers, there are only 10 numbers which are rational, and the rest of the 90 numbers are basically their root is irrational. So square root of 6 is the only part which is giving you not a whole number in the answer. All right, that's why this is the odd one out, if I will say. So second question is, what will be the effect on the second quantity in an inverse proportion if the first quantity is increased by a certain factor. So in other words, in inverse proportion, if first quantity is increased, the second quantity would be. Sarah, can you
Decrease.
tell me the answer? Which one will be the answer? Inverse proportion.
Ma'am, the second quantity would increase by the same factor.
Sorry, which part, bete?
A.
It's inverse proportion. If first quantity is increased, the other will be.
Decreasing?
Increased by.
If it will be increased, so then it will not be inverse proportion. Then it will be direct proportion.
Ma'am,
So
B.
that's right, it is B. If one quantity is increased, the other is decreased. That's what inverse proportion is. Inverse proportion is if you are increasing one quantity, the other quantity is decreased. If it is direct proportion, then it is like one quantity is increased, the other also increased with the same factor. So we will do more questions related to proportion soon. So let's not go into the more details. We will discuss it more. So third question is very interesting. The nth term for the sequence 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 will be represented by which of these formulas? So how you
Ma'am,
should
B.
calculate?
Ma'am, N plus.
So basically,
Ma'am,
this is a question. G Kashaf.
Ma'am, A.
ma'am, B part.
Ma'am, A.
All
Ma'am,
right.
A.
So Hussein,
A.
how do you know it's A?
Ma'am, I solved it.
That's right. So basically, this MCQs you need to solve it, and when it is written the nth term, I told you in the class many times, nth term or the general term formula, it means you need to apply which formula? N1 plus, oh sorry, A1 plus, what is the formula?
N minus
A
T.
N minus 1 into
D.
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 T.
This is the formula of finding nth term of the sequence. And this is equal to AN. So if I put the values, what is A1?
2.
2.
2.
2.
A1 is first term of the sequence. N minus 1 will stay as it is. What is D?
2.
4 minus 2.
2.
That's right. 4 minus 2 is 2. So it would be 2 plus, if you open this bracket, 2n minus 2. So basically this minus 2 is cancelled with this plus 2. So your answer is 2n. So don't lose your marks in the first, section of your paper, because that section is comparatively straightforward questions. All right. So A is the correct answer. So now there is another way of finding which is the correct one. So instead of finding the formula, I can put the values in these options to see which one is the correct one. For example, if I put n is equal to 1 here, so I will get 1 plus 2, 3. So it means that the first term of the sequence would be 3. But here the first term is 2. So it means this is not the option I am looking for. So then if you check the nth term formula of part C, if I put 1 here, so basically the answer is 4. But 4 is not the first term of this sequence. So it means this answer is also wrong. If I put n1 here in the D part, so basically answer is 3. So this is also not a correct option. If I put n1 in the first sequence, in the first formula, so I get 2. If I put n2, I get 4. If I put n3, I get 6. So there are two ways to reach till the answer. First is that you can find out the nth term for this sequence, and second is like you can use these given sequences, the given formulas, to see which one is appropriate for this sequence. Are you getting both methods, bete?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
That's great.
एक्सक्यूज मी मैम
जी बेटे.
मैम नसर का मुझे मैसेज आया नसर बोल रहे अभी उसकी आवाज नहीं जा रही वो मैम उसने माइक ओपन किया लेकिन उसकी आवाज नहीं जा रही ग्रुप में
ओहो. Bete, ask him to rejoin the class.
ओके
All right, bete, moving on to D part. So D part is very interesting. Most of the students, or at least, I can say 60% of the students make mistake in this part. So I want you to answer me, what would be the answer of the product of a square and a cube? So who will tell me? Let's see. What about Kashaf? Kashaf, what do you think would be the product of a square and a cube?
Ma'am, I'm not sure, but I think so. It's B part. No, a B part.
B part?
Ma'am, I think it will be C or D.
MC. C.
Ma'am, C.
All right.
C.
C is the correct option, bete. So basically, you cannot, I forgot to read the instructions of this question, but the instruction is circle the correct option. Circle only one option. So you cannot circle two options. All right, there is one answer to this question. There is no question in this, like in the MCQs, which is having two correct answers. So this is basically, you need to write it down, the product of a square and a cube. So if I write it down like this, can you tell me which law of indices is this? Same base.
Ma'am,
Excuse me,
ma'am,
ma'am.
law
Law one.
one. Ma'am, law one.
Law 1. So now can you tell me, Amna, what will happen to the powers? If it is law 1, so what will happen to the powers?
Ma'am, powers will be
Ma'am.
added.
That's right, powers will be added. The answer is a raised to power 5. Ji Hussain?
एक्सक्यूज मैम
Ji bete ji.
Ma'am, nothing, ma'am. I was telling the answer.
All right, that's great. So have you observed that we have done 4 parts and they are all from different topics we have done. So 5th part is from the 5th topic we have done in the syllabus, that is algebraic identities. So which formula or identity is this, Hussain? Can you tell me, bete? A minus 1 whole square. Which identity is this?
Ma'am, B.
B?
Ma'am,
What is
B.
that? B?
Ma'am, the third one.
Third one?
No, ma'am, the B one.
Ma'am, C. Ma'am,
B
B
one.
one.
Second one.
Ma'am, B.
That's right. So
Ma'am,
this
I'm telling you the formula.
G bete, you can tell me, please. What is the formula? What is the formula of A minus B whole square?
A square plus A square minus A square plus B square minus 2AB.
No,
A
ma'am, it will be B. Ma'am, it will be the second one.
It would be the second option. That's correct. So just look
Yes,
at this. They have changed the signs in all the 4 parts to confuse you. But you need to be very careful that the negative sign is with the, you can say the middle term. So 2AB term will be having negative sign. So if you apply this formula on this, when A is A but B is 1, so it will be A square plus 1, cos 1 square is 1, minus 2A. So now you need to be careful of the signs. A square is having positive sign, 1 is also having positive sign. 2a should be having negative sign. So just look at this. This is the one I need. A square is having positive sign. 1 is also having positive sign. And 2a term is having a negative sign. So this is the only correct option. In rest of the options, the signs are not correct. So this kind of question will come in the paper and there will be the similar options to confuse you. So you need to be very careful. Identify
Excuse
the
me, ma'am.
Ji bete.
Ma'am, first the step was that formula, and then after that you have that minus 2a. Where is the b? The second one.
B is 1. Actually, in this question, you can see this is your A and this is
Ma'am.
your B. So I have replaced A with A, B with 1. So can you see I have applied the formula. A square is A
Yes.
square. B square is 1. B is 1. So that's why 1 square is 1. So then 2AB,
Okay, ma'am.
B was 1, so it is 2A. All right. So basically I have
Okay.
placed in this formula A is equal to A and B is equal to 1. All right.
Okay. Yes.
So that's how I reached till the answer. So in the paper also this kind of question will come in the MCQs and the signs will be, jumbled up. So you need to be careful which option to choose. So moving on to the next part. So here comes the factorization. So who can tell me which one is the correct option? Marosh, can you tell me bete? Factorize 2a plus 4b plus 8c.
I think it's the C part.
So that's right. It's the C part. Can you tell me which factorization method we have used?
Taking the common.
That's right. It is taking the common out. All right. The first and the most basic factorization method that you can take anything common from all the terms. So what are the three things we can take common? Anyone?
2.
Ma'am, b and c.
My question is not from this question because this was solved. So when we apply this
Ma'am, can I tell?
factorization method,
Ma'am,
Ji,
can I
what
tell?
what we can take out as a common? We can take out three things common. What can be taken as common? Ji bete.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
can I
2.
tell?
Ji bete. Please tell.
Ma'am, variable, number, and sign.
We can take a number common. We can take variable common. It means we can take X or Y or A or B commons. And the third one is sign. So when we apply this factorization method, taking the common out, we can take out three things as a common: number, variable, or even the sign. So in this particular case, only the number is taken as the common. All right. So, but there can be variable which can be taken as a common, or the sign can also be taken as the common. So you need to be careful about it. All right. So moving on to next question. So,
Excuse me, ma'am.
जी बेटे
Excuse me, ma'am.
जी बेटा
मैम ये
जी हुसैन
एफर्ट जो है ये आप जरा एक्सप्लेन कर देंगे, एक्सप्लेन कर देंगी फैक्टराइज वाला.
जी बेटे. So Hussain, when we were doing factorization, so we have learned many methods. Like we have learned grouping method when there are four terms. Then we have learned identities, formulas ke through factorization karna.
Ma'am,
Then we have learned middle term breaking method. So we know many methods of factorization. So they are writing factorize. So it means you can apply any method. So this is the correct option everybody know because 2 is taken as the common and this is what is left inside. But I have asked that which factorization method is this? So this is called taking the common out. All right. Which method is this? Taking the common out. When you take anything common. So what can be taken as a common? So you can take three things as a common. Either you can take a number, जैसे इस question में हुआ है, a number is taken out. You can take out the variable also, or you can take out the sign also. So there are three things you can take out as a common. It depends on the question definitely, but this is how this method works. All right. So whenever there is a factorization question in the paper, you need to start with this method. सबसे पहली चीज आपने ये देखनी है, is there anything I can take out as a common? Or then you need to start solving the question. Because that question might be middle term breaking question, but you can still take out the common in the first step, and that will make your question easy for you. All right. So whenever factorization question is there, you need to remember that always check if you can take anything common. All right. Is it clear now, bete?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
What about? All right. So that's great. So moving on to G part, the variables x and y are connected by the equation, and the equation is y is equal to 3x minus 1. So we need to find value of y if x is equal to 1. So which topic
Ma'am, can I?
is this basically? Like we
Uh,
where in the
Linear equation.
you in the simultaneous
Simultaneous
Linear
equation.
that's right. When we were
Ma'am, I
making
think simultaneous linear equation.
that's right, very good. So when we were making table, remember that when we were taking any value of x and y, so that was the point when we were using this uh, concept. So how we are going to solve it?
Ma'am, can I tell?
Ji, Kashaf.
Ma'am, in the part of it's 3x, we will add 1 in the part of in the place of x.
Ma'am, I think it would be the B one.
It would be
Ma'am,
the
2.
all right. So basically equation is y is equal to, let me write it down, 3x minus 1. So equation is y is equal to 3x minus 1. I know x is 1. So when x is 1, I need to find the corresponding value of y. So I will replace x with 1. It's a simple linear equation which I am solving. So what would be y?
2.
2.
That's
2.
correct.
2.
Y would be 2. 3 into 1 is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. So if x is y, for this equation, y would be 2. All right. So next is very interesting question. In a concave polygon, at least one interior angle should be more than which of these?
180 degree.
Ma'am, 180 degrees.
180 degree. So when we have discussed this small concept, concave and convex, so I told you to remember it. Convex is less than 180. Convex polygon, so it's like convex less. So there's, it kind of rhyming word. So convex is when all the interior angles are less than 180 degree. Concave, when at least one angle is more than 180 degree. So please remember this. And can you recall what is the angle called which is more than 180? What is the name of that angle which is more than 180?
Reflex.
It's
Reflex
called
angle.
reflex angle. So this question can come in this way also, that which polygon is having at least one interior angle as a reflex angle. So you should know that reflex angle we mean is that bigger than 180. So definitely it's a concave polygon. Concave polygons are those polygons which are having at least one reflex angle as their interior angle. All right. So moving on to last part. Last part is basically the part of rotational symmetry. It's from the concept rotational symmetry. So in word maths, which of the following pairs of letters shows the rotational symmetry of order 2? So which one do you think?
Excuse me, ma'am. The
Leave it.
part is not visible. Whole.
जी
मैम थोड़ा ऊपर कर
Ma'am, I
दीजिए।
think C.
मैम
Is it
जो
better
आपका जो
than
पार्ट है
that?
ना इसके बाद वाला वो नजर नहीं आ रहा।
Can you see it now, bete?
Ma'am, I can see the question, but the options are not visible to me.
Or maybe your screen is not updated.
मैम वो थोड़ा सा ऊपर कर देना, जैसे वो पीडीएफ ऊपर नहीं होता पेज, आप पेज थोड़ा सा ऊपर कर दें, इस तरह नहीं विजिबल हो
My,
रहा। हाँ अब
my
ठीक है।
page, my page was fine. Actually, your screen was not updated. All right. So your screen was taking time to update. So this is the question. Word maths. Which of the following is having rotational symmetry 2? So Fiza said it's part C. H and
Ma'am,
S.
part
Which part?
C.
C part?
Yes, ma'am.
B or C?
C.
Ma'am, C.
C is the correct part. But
जी
my
मैम।
question is, why not A, B, and D? What is the problem with part A? What
मैम
is rotation?
problem is that they if we rotate them, they are making another alphabet.
That's right. So if we rotate this letter M, so one time only we will get the same letter M. So rotational symmetry of this letter is 1, not 2. Same is the case with T. If you rotate T, so only one time you will get T back, 360 degree pe. So the rotational symmetry is 1. Same is the case with A. If you rotate A, so only one time you will get the same A back during the rotation. So but S को अगर आप देखें, S when it will be rotated at 180, you will get S back. And when it will be coming back to the original position, so the rotational symmetry is 2. During the rotation, it will be the same S twice. Same is the case with H. If you rotate letter H, so when it will be here, you will get the same letter H back. And when you will go back to the original one, so you will get the same H. So the rotational symmetry is 2. So out of these 5 letters, only S and H is having rotational symmetry 2. So C is the correct part. I hope this is clear.
Ma'am, I can't understand this.
Bete, who's this?
Ma'am, me, Amna.
Okay. Amna bete, rotational symmetry, can you recall the concept? Rotational symmetry is when we rotate an object around the center. How much we need to rotate? We need to rotate 360 degree. So if you look at this letter M, so I'm drawing it below. If I will rotate M for this is the original position. If I'm rotating it till 90 degree, so M will be like this. All right. So if I rotate it again, so M will become, just like Hussein said, M will change into another alphabet, which is W. If I rotate it again, so this M will be like this. And then if I rotate it again, so it will come back to the original position. So I have taken 4 rotations. So just like you have seen in your mobile phones that we can rotate a picture. Can you see that? We can rotate a picture like this also, like
Yes,
in the
ma'am.
clockwise direction or in the anti-clockwise direction. This is what rotational symmetry is. So, like if we rotate a figure 360-degree, it means the whole circle. How many times we are getting the same shape back? So for this letter M, we will get only M back once. But if you look at the letter H, if you rotate it like this will be like this. If you rotate it again, it will go back into the same position. So this is one rotational symmetry. If you rotate it again like this, so you will get this H like this again. If you rotate it again, so you will get H back again. So during the 4
Ma'am,
rotation, you are getting H 2 times. So the rotational symmetry of letter H is,
excuse me, ma'am.
all right? Ji bete.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I can't.
Ji Frasya.
Ma'am, I can't see the screen.
Bete, you cannot see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Or bete, I will share the screen again. All right? Let me just complete this and
Okay.
then I will share the screen again. So Amna, is the concept clear? What do you mean by order 2?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So basically rotational symmetry is that when you rotate a figure along with the center of rotation, so how many times you are getting the same figure back. So we will practice this more in the upcoming questions of the paper. All right. So we will do more practice. Don't worry about it. When this concept will come back, we will discuss in detail again. All right. So moving on to the last part. So I want Nasser to answer. Nasser, which
Ma'am,
one
can I?
formula of grouped mean? Nasser, can I hear like you were saying there is a problem with mic? Can you beta talk now?
Ma'am, can I answer?
All right. Gigi,
Ma'am, can I answer?
G bete. Hussein can
Ma'am, can
Ma'am,
answer.
I?
Gigi.
Ma'am, C.
I'm
See,
C part.
we were doing it a lot in the class also. So grouped mean x bar is equal to sigma fx by sigma f. We were using it a lot in the past, 1.5 week. So that's the correct option.
Ma'am,
So with this, the first question is completed. So I'm sharing the screen again so that Afrasya might, um, he can maybe see the screen again. So then we will start
excuse,
question number. Ji bete.
ma'am, Nasser is saying that I can't, ma'am, ma'am, my voice is not getting in class.
Ji bete, I can feel that.
Ma'am, he is saying when I am talking, so, ma'am, my voice is like cutting.
We cannot even hear it now. Earlier it was coming, but now we cannot hear the voice. So he can
Ma'am,
mess.
he can check his microphone settings.
Ji bilkul. So Afrasya, you need to tell me that can you see the screen? Nasser, I can feel that. So I haven't
मैम आपकी
asked.
स्क्रीन में ब्लैक ब्लैक है
Okay, but it
यस मैम नो आई कैन सी
will take. All right, that's great. So let's move on to second question. Now you need to tell me, can you see the uh, question also?
यस मैम
That's great. All right, let's move on to second question. So second question is represent the given real numbers on number line. So it's a 3 marks question and the 3 marks are for the 3 real numbers in front of you. So this is, I think, so a free mark that how can you represent 5? So where is 5 on the number line?
5 years, man.
5 is
And
there.
Ma'am,
before
5 is on the 5.
That's right. 5 is here. Like there is no need to think also. So
Ma'am,
it's yes, that's why I was
ma'am,
saying it's
and
three mark. So what about minus 1 by 2?
minus
ma'am, can I
0.5.
tell?
That's
Ma'am,
right.
can I
Ma'am,
tell?
we will convert
Minus
that
0.
decimal.
Ma'am, we will convert the fraction into decimal form.
That's right. Minus 0.5. So Abgine, can you tell me, bete, minus 0.5 is between which two numbers?
Ma'am,
Either
0 and minus 1.
0 and minus 1. Excellent. So it would be somewhere here, isn't it? Minus 1 by 2. Between 0
Yes,
and minus 1. All right. So now 3 by 2. What is the decimal form of 3 by 2?
1.5.
1.5.
0.5.
1.5. That's right.
1.5.
So where this will go? Sania, can you tell me 1.5 is
Ma'am,
between which two numbers?
it is between 1 and positive 1 and positive 2.
That's correct. There it is. So this is enough. You have represented the numbers on the number line. So you will get 3 marks for just representing or identifying where these numbers will go. So comparatively an easy question. So next is, so I told you before that section A of the paper is easier. The next is, just an identification question. So you need to identify that is the given scenario a direct proportion or an indirect proportion. So starting with first one, speed of a plane and time taken to reach destination. Speed and time. Speed and time taken. So who can answer? Is it direct proportion or indirect proportion?
Ma'am, can I tell?
Ma'am, can I tell?
Ji bete.
Ma'am, can I?
Ma'am, it
Ma'am, it's
would be
indirect.
indirect. Ma'am, it would be indirect.
That's correct. It would be indirect. Kashaf, can you tell me the reason?
Ma'am, because if the speed will increase, so the less time will be taken, and if the time
Right,
will
right.
taken more, so the speed will be less.
That's right. If the speed is more, it will, take less time to reach to the destination. If the speed is less, it will take more time to reach till destination. So I always told you that, think about these real life situations before deciding that it's inverse or direct. So who can answer
Ma'am,
from
can
the
I tell?
boy? G,
Ma'am, can
Afrasiab.
Ma'am,
I
can I
tell?
tell?
Ma'am, can
No, Afrasiab.
Ma'am,
Afrasiab,
can
can
I?
tell me what is the relation between distance and time taken? G, bete.
Ma'am, it will indirect because ma'am, if a car will take ma'am more time, more time, so distance will
No,
be
ma'am.
ma'am like
No,
So,
ma'am, it
No,
will be
ma'am,
direct,
it's
ma'am. Ma'am, it will
And
be
direct.
direct. Ma'am,
Afrasiab,
because
Direct.
when distance will be more, then the time will also be taken more.
that's right. Afrasiab, think like this. If you want to go to Islamabad, so it will take less time. But if you want to go to Lahore, so then it will take you more time. Why? Because distance is more. All right. So distance will be more, time will also be more. आपने ज्यादा दूर जाना है, ज्यादा डिस्टेंस ट्रैवल करना है, तो डेफिनेटली आपका टाइम ज्यादा लगेगा. अच्छा, नाउ वी आर नॉट इन्वॉल्विंग कि स्पीड कैसी है. Are you getting the point? We are only comparing distance and time. We are not thinking about any other, you can say, factors. So in proportion, you need to remember this, that only the factors which are changed are distance and time. उसके अलावा के सारे factors हमने क्या assume किए होते हैं कि they are constant, they are same. We are assuming the same speed, same car, same road, same, fuel. So that is the assumption we are making. If the
ma'am, can I
everything
tell?
is same, gee, now can you try out this third one?
Yes, ma'am.
Area,
Ma'am,
area and the cost.
ma'am, it is direct because the ma'am more ma'am there is ma'am more area, so ma'am the cost will be more.
Bilkul, that's correct. So if you are purchasing 6 marle, so you need to pay less. If you are purchasing 1 canal, so you definitely have to pay more. All right. So more land more cost. That's the direct relation. All right. So now we are not, we are keeping this in mind that the area or that land is having the same price. हम ये नहीं सोच रहे कि one you can say plot is in Chakwal city and one is in maybe in some village. So definitely then the rate will be different. So the assumption is that we are only considering area and cost, keeping all other factors constant, assuming that the price of the land is same. It is in the same city, same location. All right. So that is what the assumption in the proportion is. So, Bete, we have not taken the break. So, I will leave you a bit earlier so that you can have the combined break. Just give me 30 seconds. I'm coming back. All right, Ji Bete, sorry for that. So I was saying I will leave you at after 10 minutes. So don't worry about it, that I have not given you a break. Can you have the voice, Bete?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, Bete, next question is, basically very easy question. So I know most of you can answer directly. So what will be the cost of one bag if 8 bags cost 16,000?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Ma'am, can I
Ji,
tell?
ji beta.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
we will divide the 16,000 with 8. The answer will be 2,000 rupees.
So that's right. Ji Afrasyab, you were saying something, bete?
ma'am, ma'am, Nasser was saying that he can't see the screen.
So bete, ask Nasser to rejoin the class because maybe there is a problem with his internet.
Yes, ma'am, maybe.
Hmm. So
Ma'am,
internet
can
now
I tell
is having problem.
the answer?
Ji bete, ji Kashaf. Are you having a different answer?
No, ma'am, it's the same.
All right. So, bete, so my concern in this question is, yes, if you divide 16,000 by 8, you will get your answer. But the problem is that this is a question of direct proportion. The number of bags and the cost. So if the number of bags are more, the cost is more. So unitary method which you are using can be applied. But when we were doing proportion questions, I told you explicitly that we will not use unitary method. We will use the same method for direct proportion and for inverse proportion. So the problem here is that 16,000 by 8, which is 2,000, that is the correct answer for this question. But when this question is changed to a scenario where the inverse proportion is involved, then students make mistake. So to avoid that mistake, I told you in the class also that we will not use unitary method. Instead, we will use a three-step method, which we have used in the notebooks also for all the proportion questions. What were those three steps? First step is write in form of ratio. Because
वो देखो मेरी क्लास हो रही है.
cost is unknown, so we will put cost on the left side and the number of bags on the right. Bete, please mute the mic. All right. So the first step is that you will write down number of bags ratio cost. Why am I putting cost on the right side? Because in mathematics, unknown is always on the right side. So if there were 8 bags, the cost was 16,000. If there is 1 bag, the cost is X. This is the first step. All right. So we will solve this question through proper method so that we are never making mistake in this. So now the second step is put arrows. If it is direct proportion, so the both arrows will be in the same direction. If this arrow goes up, the other will also go up. This is the second step, putting the arrows. If it is direct proportion, both arrows will be in the same direction. So now the third step, write down the equation. X by 16,000 is equal to 1 by 8. Follow the arrows. X by 16,000, 1 by 8. Now you can cross multiply. 8x is equal to 16,000 and x is equal to 16,000 by 8, which is 2,000.
2000.
So although
अच्छा
we
ये
are having same answer, but when we will do the second past paper, this question, Bete, please mute the mic, please. So the problem comes when this question is not a question of direct proportion. So then you will make mistake in the question. Are you getting the point, Bete? So like in the second question, second past paper which I am having, this question is not question of direct proportion. This question is question of indirect proportion, yeah, inverse proportion. So what is the problem that occur? So students will still divide it because they have this thing in mind. Okay, if the 8, if like you need to find unit price, you need to divide it. So then you get the wrong answer for such a simple question. So always remember, whenever there is a question of proportion, you will never use unitary method. You will use these three-step method. So first of all, you will write the two quantities in the ratio form, keeping the unknown on the right side. Second step is putting the arrows. If it is direct proportion, put the arrows in the same direction. If it is inverse, then you know one arrow will go up, other will go down. Then make the equation using the arrows. So follow the direction of the arrows and write down the equation. And then solve it to find the unknown. Is it clear, Bete? It was a 2 marks question in the paper, and this will give you a solution also and the correct answer also. Is it clear, Bete? Anyone who's having,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
who
ma'am.
haven't understood?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Abgine, is it clear, Bete?
Ma'am, can you explain it again?
एक्सक्यूज मी
बेटे,
मैम.
जी जी
मैम ये जो पेपर होगा हमारा, इसमें हमारे ये कॉस्ट वाले भी आएंगे क्वेश्चंस?
हाँ जी बेटे, this is proportion question ना?
यस
This is
मैम.
proportion question. So I am asking you to solve proportion questions properly. Do not
ओके मैम.
use shortcut. All right. So
Okay, ma'am.
shortcut will give you the correct answer sometimes, but it might not give you the correct answer in most of the times when there is inverse proportion involved. So I am asking you to use proportion concept, which was a 3-step. अगर आपको याद हो कि when we did this concept in the class, so we said we will use 3 steps. Step 1, write in the form of ratio. The two quantities we are comparing should be written in ratio form and keep the unknown on the right side. This is step 1. Step 2 is putting the arrows. Check if it is direct proportion or indirect. So I have seen that cost and the number of bags are direct proportion. So I will put the arrows in the same direction. This is step 2. Step 3 is making the equation and finding the unknown. All right. So is it clear now,
Ma'am,
Abhin?
ma'am, how much time left in the class?
So 5 more minutes.
Okay, ma'am.
So next question is
मैम
find the
70
value of,
मिनट पूरे होने में 2 मिनट्स रह गए हैं
sorry,
मैम 70 मिनट्स होने में ये 2 मिनट्स रह गए हैं
Yes, ma'am.
according to my clock, we are still having 4 minutes. Let's complete these 2 questions and then we will finish. Okay, bete? So you can take a 20 minutes break.
मैम इन दो
Sorry?
क्वेश्चन आते हैं मुझे
जी? तो सेन
मैम
क्या कहा है?
कि इन दो ये जो है व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ n इन द फॉलोइंग सीक्वेंस इसका आंसर है 28 और जो आगे है फाइंड n टर्म फॉर द सीक्वेंस गिवन a इसका है 8n + 4
वाह, और अभी हम चेक कर लेते हैं सैन इज हैविंग करेक्ट आंसर और नॉट. अच्छा बेटे, सैन इज सेइंग दैट आंसर ऑफ दिस इज 28. ऐसे ही है.
Yes, ma'am.
और पेपर में
Yes,
आप
ma'am,
ऐसे
it's
लिखते हो.
28.
You will just write down 28. So, but look at this. How many marks this question is having?
Ma'am, I'm also having same answer.
Everybody is having same answer. But
Yes,
देखिए,
ma'am.
this answer is not enough. How many marks this question is having? Can you see on your screen?
And 2 marks.
How many marks? 2 marks. So I told you that 2 marks question needs solution also. If you will write down 28, you will get 1 mark.
Yes,
Only
ma'am,
for
I
the.
have done the solution.
That's correct. So how you did the solution?
Um,
हम करेंगे ना रूल होगा कि +8 करना है
ma'am, first I
Right.
have
Either
put
right.
it the value according to the sequence.
All right.
Um,
So if you are
then
writing this, San ne kaha hai कि you need to write down rule is +8 and 28. So 1 mark for this, 1 mark for this. Just like how Amna is saying कि मैंने पहले sequence लिखी 12 और मैंने उसको कहा +8 किया तो 20 आ गया, फिर +8 किया 28 आ गया. If you are doing this also fine. This will give you 1 mark. So basically 2 marks questions. It means that along with the correct answer, you need to explain your answer also. That how you reach till the answer. Okay, so you need to be very careful about the marking scheme also. If it is 1 mark question in the paper, no need to do solution. Just write down the answer. If it is 2 marks question, then you need to write down the answer also. So moving quickly to the last part. So because मुझे लग रहा है आप लोग नाश्ते के बगैर आ गए. All right. So last part. Nth term of the sequence. Who can tell me quickly what is the formula of nth term?
Ma'am,
ma'am,
A-N is
ma'am, A1 plus N minus
That's
1
correct.
in bracket D.
A1 plus -1, A2, D. So Abgine, I want you to answer what is A1 in this sequence? What is A1?
Ma'am, 12.
12.
12.
Aspa plus N minus 1 into what is the value of D?
Ma'am, 8.
8
8. So 20 minus,
Ma'am,
So
the
12
answer
plus
will be 4.
8
Ma'am, the answer will be 4 plus 8N.
It
Yeah,
will
फिर
be
8N
4
plus.
plus 8N.
8n
That's
+ 4
correct. 8N plus 4. So was this the same answer, Hussain?
yes ma'am
Excellent.
Yes, ma'am.
Bete, all right. So, Bete, what we are going to do in the homework, that I will share this 5/6 question, and I'm skipping 7th question. We will discuss it tomorrow. and I will be giving you, let's say, okay, I will be giving you question number 11, 12, 13, and 14 in the homework. All right. So you need to do this 11, 12, 13, and 14 questions in the homework. Okay. They are from section 2, section B. So I will share the pictures also in the class group so that you can solve them on the notebook. All right, Bete? Is it clear? We will discuss it tomorrow also.
Yes,
If
ma'am.
you are having printout, just solve it on the printouts. If you are not having printout, please do this on the notebook. All right. I will share the pictures in the class group also so that you can easily access. So that's all, everyone. Let me see how many of you are there in the class. So I was able to hear Ariba's voice. Good to see you in the class, Ariba.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, Bete. So that's all. So see you in the class tomorrow. Take the rest of the classes also of Rasyab, Hussain. Please take Amna also. Please take the rest of the classes also. So now you are having a 20 minutes break, I believe. It's 9:50 on the clock. So your next class will be at 10:10. All right. So
All right,
take
ma'am.
care, everyone. See you tomorrow. Allah
Excuse
Hafiz.
me, ma'am, आज साइंस की क्लास होगी?
Yes, ma'am.
जी जी बेटे.
Allah Hafiz, ma'am.
Allah Hafiz.
पासकोड यूज होगा।
बेटे
मैम
मैम
साइंस की
share the
मैम साइंस की
जी
क्लास
जी.
होगी?
Yes, there would be science class. Probably she was having some trouble
और मैम
yesterday.
इंग्लिश की भी होगी?
जी जी बेटे, all the classes would be there.
Ma'am,
So
will
you
same
have
passcode and use.
so bete the teachers will keep sharing the links in the class group. So if you cannot log in, please message that teacher to send you the passcode and ID also. All right. So see you all tomorrow. Allah Hafiz.
Allah
Allah
Hafiz,
Hafiz,
ma'am.
ma'am.
लाफिस
Allah
मैम.
Hafiz.
Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz, ma'am.
Allah Hafiz Kashaf.